Hi, I'm Doris Pollock.
And I'm John Huber. We're here in this video to talk to you about art. Not all art, just famous art. And not just famous art, but enjoyable art. Art that makes you feel good when you look at it. And in this particular video, we're going to talk about The Scream by Edvard Munch. When I look at that painting, it's not really a painting, but Doris will get into that. But when I look at it, I see horror on that poor creature's face. And I think of all the injustices there are in the world. Everybody suffers injustice. It's very individualized. Your injustice is different from mine. It's different from everybody else's. The injustice might be war. They might have received that dreaded telegram, "We regret to inform you." And you wonder, did my loved one suffer? It might be about love. It might be the infamous Dear John letter. And you wonder, did she ever really love me? Was I just a sucker? Or it might be employment termination. Your services are no longer required. And if you're over 60, you're looking at lifetime unemployment. You feel like your loyalty has been rejected, but yet some executive got a golden parachute. It could be a terminal illness. It could be yourself. It could be a spouse. Or worst of all, it could be a child. And you ask, why did this happen to me? Well, others have suffered injustice. I've suffered injustice. Doris has suffered injustice. Many people have suffered injustice, and we recover. And you can recover too. And maybe that's the final element of this painting that people should take away. Doris, what's your opinion?
The painting itself is very odd when we look at it. I'm not sure if it's a man or woman in the picture. It really is indefinite. And those stringy stripes going across the sky behind the picture, very strange. And the colors that are used. You know, he did 5 of these paintings, and they're all different colors. We happened to be in Paris the other day, and we got to see a special exhibit by Munch, and there had one, and it was a black and white drawing. One of them is chartreuse and lemon. That would not be good.
No.
But it seems to me that we don't know also whether the man is screaming, or if it's a man, the creature is screaming, or if he has his hands over his ears to cover someone else's screaming. But at any rate, I guess it doesn't really matter. The scream is there in some form, and it's causing a great deal of stress and anxiety. That is the first thing. The second thing I wanted to mention is that there are several of these. They don't get out of, this particular painting does not get out of the country. First of all, I guess we probably should not call it a painting. There's no paint involved. It is done on a piece of cardboard with chalk. Chalk is the color. So I guess you call it a chalking?
I suppose.
I don't know. But at any rate, it has been stolen from Oslo, which is where its home is, in the Oslo Museum. It has been stolen 5 times, and every time they've managed to get it back, but the last time it got stolen, it came back pretty damaged, and so they don't let it out of the country anymore. It was explained to me once that perhaps this is this artist's reaction to the Industrial Revolution. Before this time, if I wanted to, let's say, make a pair of shoes, I would get leather and I would mark it out and I would cut it and I would sew it. I'd make the whole shoe. That's what I would do. But as soon as the Industrial Revolution came by, the worker in the factory might stand there all day and just turn a certain screw, and then the next car would come up, or a piece of an engine or whatever, and he'd turn that. As a worker, I would never get to see the finished product, and psychologists tell us that that's very hard on our insides, not to bring closure to something. And also, that was the reason that this man was screaming. But perhaps another reason that he was reacting so poorly to all these things is that he had a family problem that had occurred just a few weeks before this. And that was his sister, his beloved sister, had to be put into an insane asylum. So that could be why too. But regardless of all the questions that we've brought up about the painting and things about it, it is a very loved piece of art. And it's almost always on the top 10 and sometimes in the top 5 of what people consider to be their favorite pieces of art. How about you, John? Would you like to have that hanging in your house?
Well, no, that would be a little bit shocking. Can you imagine that over your bed?
Yeah,
It'd give you nightmares.
it would.
Well, if you've enjoyed this way of looking at enjoyable art, you might enjoy our book. It's called Discovering Art. It's for sale on Amazon.com. Thank you.
Thank you.